My dear friends, you are welcome to our garden and outside the vicinity where nature is so wonderful and we are enjoying it out of the office. We are working on systematic study review. Remember, our program is demystifying academic research. And we agreed that to have a good systematic study review, there are 6 steps to go through. The first is to prepare your topic. Some scholars call it the protocol or the methodology. We did that on session 015 of this program. The next is to search for your studies. That was done in session 016 of this program. The third stage of a systematic study review is to screen your studies. On the session 017, we did that clearly. And the fourth stage is extract the data. That was done yesterday and that session on session 018. Today we are handling analysis and synthesis of your findings. That's session 019. And tomorrow we are going to round up with the reporting your findings, session 020. My name is Mike Booker, and I encourage all of us who are following this program, dear friends, to keep on coming. Please make your comments known at the comment section. For the returning subscribers, we thank you so very much. You are keeping the faith. For those of you who are new persons who are coming, please, we welcome you to this great family where we will demystify academic research. Please share the link to those who might not have idea about it. We'll go direct to the point. Today, we are handling the issue of analysis and synthesis of your findings, and we are trying to know how do we actually analyze the data we have gathered thus far and then synthesize it for it to make academic sense in the field of academic research. In fact, there are two ways to go about it. You may decide to take the qualitative synthesis, or better still, it depends on the study, maybe quantitative, but we have chosen to follow the qualitative synthesis. And here we'll look at thematic synthesis, the Raleigh synthesis, the content analysis, meta-ethnography, and meta-aggregation. My dear friends, here are the steps to be followed when we need to arrive at a good analysis and synthesis of your studies. We are going to do what we call a qualitative synthesis, the first step. The second one is to make a framework for conducting a qualitative synthesis. The next step is to have the meta-ethnography, the meta-aggregation, other steps, and the last step is to synthesize our findings. Because we want this program to be a bit short and direct, we are going to talk detailedly only on 2 parts of this. The rest we can talk subsequently. If you want us to go further, please drop your comment in the comment sections and raise your questions. We'll do our best to be able to answer you. Now, we are handling just the framework for conducting qualitative synthesis and synthesizing your findings, because the focus here is to synthesize our findings. What is this framework? The first thing is that you're developing a theory. The theory that helps to bring out the message. The next thing is to developing the preliminary synthesis. Those who are researchers will understand this better and will keep on explaining. Please, wherever you find yourself in doubt, drop your comment in the comment section. We'll come back and give better answers and in details. The another step is to exploring the relationship in the data. Yeah, I may just say to get the patterns, the relationship, things like that. And the last step for a framework is assessing the robustness of the synthesis, because you have to be sure that there is quality control. Remember, this is systematic literature review. The essence is to make it have a replicability, and although we might not actually eliminate subjectivity, we try as much as possible to eliminate bias as much as possible. Like I said, we are going to handle just a framework for conducting qualitative synthesis and synthesis for the findings. Now, we have done the first. Let's take the second one. Synthesizing the findings, quality data. We're going to use meta-aggregation. There are too many approaches. We want to use meta-aggregation because we are dealing with qualitative studies, words, approaches, patterns. Now, this approach does the following. 1, it incorporates the philosophical traditions of critical interpretive paradigms. It actually incorporates and bring them together. Secondly, it aggregates study findings that are intended by the primary studies, the primary authors, and avoids reinterpretation of original findings. The third thing it does is that it is guided by clear protocol that defines review questions. My dear friend, and now the question therefore is, how do we then go about the process of having a synthesized finding? Now, there are 3 steps, please, for us to follow. The first step is one, the findings of primary qualitative studies represented by categories, themes, metaphors, or concepts as reported by the original study authors and are identified. Remember, you only identify these themes, these findings, only identify them here. Nothing is eliminated. Step 1, identification. Step 2, the categories are created from findings based on what they have been discovered, the similarity and the findings. Now, once the findings have been discovered, categories are created that shows the similarities in them. For instance, things like growth and the development. How do they appear? Those types of similarities. And the last step is the categories obtained are aggregated to form a set of synthesized findings. This is where we wanted to arrive. The question now may be, okay, what then is a synthesized finding? Let me give us a standard definition. In meta-aggregation, it is the overarching description of a group of categories or categorized findings that allow for the generation of conclusions and recommendation. Remember, the essence of a scientific study is to influence policy. That is why it started in the medical field when they had to look at the reaction of certain cases, illness and responsiveness of healing and our treatment. So they see what can they propose. They went up to the philosophical field and now are using it in the social way and the humanities. So it's all about influencing policy. If you have gone through this, you have actually synthesized your own work, your findings. Once more, as a recap, I want to say today we are on session 019 and we are doing analysis and synthesis of your findings. We say to actually arrive at a synthesized finding, we have taken the direction of a qualitative synthesis. Of course, there are others who can take quantitative synthesis. For qualitative synthesis, what we'll do is that we'll do what we call doing a qualitative synthesis framework for conducting qualitative synthesis. We'll talk about it. They'll talk about the meta-aggregation, meta-ethnography, and they'll talk about synthesized findings. We said that for the framework for conducting qualitative synthesis, we're developing a theory, developing a preliminary synthesis, and of course the exploring relationship in the data, assessing robustness of the synthesis, so that we are sure that there's quality control. And the last part, as we said, is to synthesize the findings using qualitative data. We use the meta-aggregation, and this is the approach. We say that the protocol ensures that it incorporates philosophical traditions of the critical interpretive paradigms. The second part is that it aggregates findings as intended by the original authors, original writers, and original books that was written on that topic. And the last one, it is guided by clear policy. And the last 3 steps for you to arrive at a synthesized finding is to, one, know that findings from primary qualitative studies or works are represented by categories, themes, patterns, relationships, stuff like that, to give a coherent idea. The second part is the categories are created. Categories are created to form findings based on similarity in their meaning. And the last part is that the categories are obtained that give aggregation to form a set of synthesized findings. At this level, we can be able to make logical ideas, informed decisions, evidence-based decisions from what we have done through our systematic study review. I encourage all once more to keep the faith and come again, please. Click, like, and share. Make your comments known. Let others know about this program so that next time we can be able to do more. We encourage you to keep the faith. Once more, you have joined us here, and the program is Demystifying Academic Research. See you next. We'll be coming to the last part of semester study review, and we'll handle tomorrow reporting your findings, session 020. Thank you.